Sometimes it's not easy to see the finish line, to peer down that long, treacherous road ahead and feel completely confident that things will work out. You know, that success is waiting there for you in one form or another. Obviously, there's no road signs letting you know that your progress is paying off. There's no blatant indicator that you're on the right track. Essentially, there's nothing, right? Nothing but the feet underneath you, taking you one step at a time to a fate that's completely unknown. And it's in this instance, while looking destiny in the eye, that you have to remember, anyone can sail in smooth waters, anyone can dance when the music is playing. The great leveler, though, is how you live when it's not. When you're listening like your life depended on it, but there's no song to be heard. How do you push forward? You know, no one else can get you there. There's no shortcuts to success. You'll find that the answer's in your chest. Because it's there you'll find the melody that's been pumping through your veins since the first day you opened your eyes, helping you create your own music, your own song, your own voice. It's what has the power to get you through to the next level, when your instinct tells you to quit, that maybe it's just not worth it. When most give up, it's why you'll be able to hang on. Because the song will come. The skies will clear, the sun will rise. But you have to know that, and you have to know it now, when all you have is ambition and a plan, when it's just you, your song, and the road ahead. There's no concrete evidential triumph, but you don't need that. Persistence during times of doubt, during improbability, that's what makes triumph so rare, so precious. It moves the strong-willed forward to bigger and better things. Things aren't handed to you, but they materialize over time. They transform from nothing to something. They emerge from hardship, out of ideas that were perceived by others as crazy, as most achievements throughout the course of human history were. Let people talk about odds, how difficult success is. They can't look inside of you. They can't hear your song. They don't know what you have. But they will find out later, when you've gotten past the mud, the dirt, the grind, the stuff that no one wants to endure. When you're singing your song to the world, for yourself, but also for them, for those who need it, those seeking their own song. One day you'll be able to tell them what it took, how it wasn't easy, but you knew that if you pushed hard enough, the stars would align. You heard the music before it played, and how sweet the sound. So you look outside, right? And the first thing you see through the window is that the running conditions are terrible. They're far from ideal. Your first inclination is to go back to bed, wait until it warms up, maybe hang tight until the rain or snow stops, which the majority of us would find completely reasonable, by the way. But let me explain the scenario from a different angle. Because this is the exact situation when it's most important to get out of bed, to put your running shoes on and to head out the front door. There is an undervalued benefit that comes from putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation, from forcing yourself to be just a little bit irrational. When you look at those who have been successful, What separates them is that they do things and they make sacrifices that others would not. They're the people that study until 4 a.m. or wake up when it's dark outside to practice free throws. Whatever their specific skill set may be, the pattern is always the same. They were willing to pay a price that most wouldn't. They wanted it just a little bit more. So what could this possibly have to do with running in the rain? It has everything to do with it. Why is it that when you run outside on a cold, rainy day, no one's out there? It's not because you're doing anything that, in itself is great or heroic. You're running alone because it sucks. It sucks to run in the rain, right? To have cold wind blowing in your face. That's not relaxing or enjoyable. It's uncomfortable. But you're out there when everyone else is warm inside, and there's value to that. Training yourself to follow through with your ambitions regardless of hurdles, because life will not always be comfortable. What are you gonna do when things get bad? You lose a client at work, your girlfriend leaves you. You gonna stay in bed? Because there will always be a reason to wait for later, to hope for smoother waters ahead. The best, though, they achieve in spite of undesirable conditions. Then, suddenly, meeting your goals has become a habit, not something left up for chance. You don't even look at the weather, right? The forecast becomes very little significance to you. So it's cold, great. You'll wear 2 sweatshirts, but you'll figure out how to get it done. And I'll tell you, when you take those shoes off and head to work or practice or wherever your day takes you, that mentality does not leave. You look at things differently. You'll realize that 99% of the reasons we give for not doing things, they're excuses. They're meaningless. If you want something, do it. And guys, that's not a cliche. That's the key to success. Find a way to get it done. And the best part, when it's finally 72 and sunny and the world is outside ready to run, you'll have lapped that place so many times that you're not even on the same level. You have been to hell and back, and your performance will make that apparent. That's how you become the best. So is it just a run in the rain? You tell me. While the world slept, I stayed awake. I guess I couldn't bear to close my eyes and drift off into a dream, knowing that as soon as they opened, it would end. I sat up, I put my goals and aspirations into the backpack next to my bed, threw it over my shoulder, and I left. Destination unknown. But I was armed with the belief that opportunities exist wherever you bring them to life. So while the world slept, I stayed awake. There comes a point when dreaming takes the form of an adversary. I didn't want to wake up and see the discrepancy between fantasy and reality. I didn't want to be associated with wishing or hoping or crossed fingers. See, the beauty of life is that it always provides the necessary pieces to put your puzzle together so long as your eyes remain open. So while the world slept, I stayed awake. As the mind lays dormant, so does opportunity. As the ideal life remains imaginary, so does the action needed to build it. The best way to find answers is simply to look for them. A folded up map hidden away in your desk, it suggests a million possibilities. Proposes an endless journey, but until you grab it, open your door and step outside, it will never truly take you there. I wanted to feel the wind on my face, the sand on my feet, and even the most adventurous souls in the world don't have time to see everything, to experience it all. Time is the most precious of commodities. So while the world slept, I stayed awake. The secret is not in opening your eyes, it's in what you allow your eyes to see. It's easy to live while being asleep, to completely disregard or walk right by the advantages, the opportunities, the pieces that we can reach out and use to shape our lives. Look, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about trading what you kind of want for what you really want. It's about walking down your street and viewing every single thing in front of you as perfection, as the stars aligning as the perfect ingredients to create whatever you choose. Leave nothing for sleep. Let your dreams envy your reality. And while the rest of the world sleeps, I dare you to stay awake. I dare you to get everything you've ever wanted. If you knew exactly how long you were going to be alive, would things be different? Imagine if every morning you were able to look into an hourglass that showed you exactly how much time you have, removing any unknowns or uncertainty. Would you approach your days differently? Certainly time would feel more real. Every grain of sand that slipped by would remind us of our mortality, of the days come and gone. But what about the sand that's left? In the possibilities yet to be explored. In this fast-paced world we live in, it's very easy to get caught up, to go into autopilot, to do what everyone else is doing without ever taking a second to examine ourselves. Every day, the sand in that hourglass gets lesser and lesser. And if you don't ask yourself what your purpose is, what makes you happy, what you're going to bring to the world, someday you'll be all out of time. Our stay here is finite. I often talk to people about their goals and aspirations, what makes them happy. And I find it crazy how many restrictions people place on themselves. Human beings put a man on the moon. Think about that for a second. Yet it wouldn't be possible for you to record an album or start an interior design company? Explain that to me. There is this fear of the unknown that's debilitating. We're all scared to fail. We're scared to mess with the status quo, even when we're not content with how things are. We'll ride it out, because unhappiness appears better than uncertainty. This in itself is a tragedy. I saw a great quote the other day. It said, "Human beings are the only life form that will do less than they possibly can." There's never been a tree that didn't grow as tall as it possibly could. They're hardwired to do that. Us, on the other hand, we have the gift of choice, which is a blessing, yes, but it's also a curse. It's something to hide behind. We'll forfeit the opportunity to be great, because that comes with a hefty price of risk. Look, in reality, we don't know how many trips around the sun we have. It is and always will be a mysterious component of life. But regardless of your journey, what you've done, what you've yet to do, there is no time for regret. So go after what you want. Work hard at something you love. Wake up excited. Go to bed content. Be a dreamer. Make things happen. Being born was the hardest part. You've already done that. You've already won the lottery. You're here. You're experiencing everything the world has to offer. Statistically, that is a miracle. All you have to do is cash in on your lottery ticket. .5%. That number is all that separates the DNA of a human being and a chimpanzee. Which means that, relatively speaking, 1.5% is the difference between a rocket ship and a pile of bananas. 1.5 extra minutes a day for an entire year is 547.5 minutes. And those minutes accumulated could end up being the difference between pass or fail, yes or no, average or great. When we look at change, at getting what we want, we tend to visualize it on a pedestal. It's huge, it's mysterious, it's complex, but I'll tell you what, it's the smallest of adjustments, seeking out and capturing that little 1.5%. Living in the space that we're so inclined to just see right past, that's where I find my advantage. We are surrounded by a million little opportunities every day that we walk by. Waking up a few minutes earlier, reading a few pages, doing an extra lap or rep, tiny things. They won't give you what you want right away, but little by little, small advantages become big advantages, consistent action becomes habits, and we are, as Aristotle says, what we repeatedly do. Don't look for the moon, look for the staircase that will take you there. 1.5 may be small, but 1.5 every day is the most powerful thing there is.